Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and we have some important things to talk about. A few days ago, Raven Software went and did a huge balancing change for the game. Warzone, a game which has a pretty fast time to kill already, well, it still has a fast time to kill compared to most games, but they went and increased that time it takes to kill people for many of the guns and made several changes to several different guns, and that's about 38 guns to be exact. These 38 guns range from SMGs, ARs, and LMGs, and the goal of this update was to help increase the overall time it takes to kill people and make it feel as though you die a little less fast. This is under the assumption that it's going to help the longevity of the game. I can definitely see how. Now you're very rewarded for chest and headshots than ever. And if you hit stomach, you're probably not winning a gunfight against a monster who can hit their headshots very well. Personally, I feel the difference when I shoot, but when I get shot, I don't. I swear, I still feel like I'm dying in the blink of an eye, and the times to kill only increase for guns that I'm using at that exact time, but everyone else's is the same. All jokes aside, one important thing to note is that the shotguns were seemingly untouched. I went and double checked a few heavy hitters to make sure, and also I had the help of the Daily Cliche, a link to his channel in the description. He likes to look at these sort of changes for all guns, not just shotguns, and we'll usually check in with each other from time to time to see what's changed, so go check out his channel. He has some really good gun guides and things like that, so go support him. But basically, we found no changes to any gun. The Gallo, the Street Sweeper, the Jack 12, etc. Now, this is sad in some ways because many of us were hoping for a small buff to the Model 680 or the Howler, things like that, but since shotguns haven't changed and the rest of the game's time to kill essentially did, shotguns are now probably more meta than they ever have been. They're stronger than ever before. You now have slightly more time to react in some situations and get to cover more quickly. The change isn't huge against good players, but you may notice it's slightly more forgiving. Very, very slightly. It's not a huge change like I said. I do want to mention, the gameplay you're seeing is mostly from Plunder because I play solo, and playing solo Battle Royale can be incredibly frustrating when I just want gameplay. And so I always go to Plunder or something like that, and it's a great alternative. Just keep in mind, these players you see dying in 1 or 2 shots don't always have 3 plates, and I'm not using Plunder to gameplay to trick you or something into thinking shotguns are god tier now or anything like that. So that was just kind of a heads up. But to illustrate this point, I'm going to show you a spreadsheet created by none other than JGod himself with some general time to kill values. Now specifically pay attention to the close range values, like from 0 to 10 meters where shotguns generally reign supreme. Really, there are only 3 guns on this list that have time to kill values below 500 milliseconds. I want to be clear though, these are still really fast killing guns. 500 milliseconds is very quick. It sounds like a lot, but it's really fast. If we compare these numbers though to some other time to kill values for some of the shotguns, you can see the shotguns aren't looking half bad, man. Now, if you take a look at these time to kill values, you'll see the shotguns are in a pretty amazing spot. The Street Sweeper, 367 milliseconds with that faster fire rate barrel, that's insane. But yeah, this is gonna be really, really up close since that last nerf hit it pretty hard. So just be mindful of that. But these other spammy ones, the Jack, the Gallo, the Origin, they're really good. Even the VLK Rogue, since it can 2-shot like a pump action, but it's got a really good fire rate, you put Dragon's Breath on that and you'll actually be doing really, really well. And I'll probably make separate videos on some of these guns on their own just to see how they are after the update. But man, this is looking pretty good overall and pretty promising if you like running a shotgun. Yeah, the 680 and the Howler are still meh, long time to kills, right? But the other faster firing ones really got a lot more appealing up close. By increasing the time to kill for other guns, shotguns now have a little bit more room and a little bit more of a chance to come out and play, and the ones that were already strong are slightly stronger. Now against good players, you probably won't tell much of a difference, but some players who can't aim and hit their shots very well, it's gonna feel like you have God mode enabled in Doom when you shotgun them. What's cool about this is that technically that gives you a little bit more room to work with guns like the Model 680 or the Howler because it takes longer to die, so you can move around a little bit more, maybe have more of a chance of getting that second shot off. But again, I want to emphasize, it's not a huge bit for those guns at least, but it's a slight improvement, so maybe you can make them work a little bit better than before. You still need to be a really good movement-oriented type of player though. They're not going to be killed in any less shots with those heavy hitter pump actions. In my list, once you get to about the Howler, that's when you start hitting those longer time to kills. But for these spammy shotguns, the semi-autos, the full autos, this is going to be a great quality of life change overall. In all honesty, I don't think it's going to be like this for long because Raven have made it clear they don't really like super dominant shotguns, but I could be wrong. At least for now, we can digest the meta and see how things go. No one's really caught on to this yet because everyone's trying to find the new really competitive long-range assault rifle or the new meta SMG, but shotguns haven't changed. So because of this, use one and you'll be able to do more damage and more destruction, on paper at least. This still largely comes down to how you play and if you can maneuver well enough with these guns. Guns like the Model 680 and the Howler are going to have more room to come out and play, but is it enough? For some, it might be. Some people I could see even made the Model 680 work before this whole change, and that to me is insane, but I encourage you to go try them out just to see, but be warned, against good players, it's not really going to feel that much more different. You'll still be melted pretty fast. But I promise you now, shotguns are probably the strongest they have been in a while, and this is probably going to be the strongest they are from here on out. I don't see it getting any better. But right now, cherish this because your time to kill with the shotguns is going to be amazing compared to these other guns. And I can see a lot of people wanting to complain about this. I can see it being a problem. And really, we're just going to have to play it by ear and see how it goes because I want the game to be balanced, right? I'm okay for a shotgun deleting super fast up close, but some of these shotguns extend pretty far. So that might be a potential issue. Hopefully we can leave it like this and just see how it plays out. I don't think many people are going to gravitate towards shotguns right now. They're just so distracted by all these other guns that changed. But like I said, we need to just wait and see what happens. But if you really like shotguns, now is the time to bust them out. And I mean, just try whichever one, right? Everything's kind of new and in a weird place than it has ever been before. So go ahead and try a Model 680, try slugs, go ahead and try the 725 again. Try these out and just kind of see how they play because now there should technically be a little bit more of a chance to make them work. But like I said, be careful. You still need to be really good with your movement and don't just sit around in the corner. Nobody likes that guy. But that really just sums it up. So even though shotguns didn't get a direct buff or anything like that, they kind of got an indirect buff from these other time to kill changes. And it's honestly great to see. And I want to know, what do you guys think of this whole update? It was a huge update. There was tons of different weapon adjustments to SMGs and ARs. Me personally, I can actually feel the difference by a long shot. If I miss any headshots or chest shots, I feel like I'm penalized way more than before, which is probably a good thing. So now more skilled players who hit their shots really well are probably going to be a bit more rewarded, which is cool. But if you're like me and want to make these other pump action shotguns work, be careful. It might be a little bit more possible now, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what shotguns you're going to try next and which ones you really want to see work. And I'll be sure to have some like update videos on how some of the shotguns perform. But with all that being said, I want to see you guys in the next video.